All right, everyone, we'll go ahead and get this kicked off for a minute. We want to go ahead and welcome everyone here for the February 2015 Bauer Luncheon. We normally don't do these as luncheons, but this is a networking event. We got Coach Tom Herman here as our featured speaker, so I'm guessing y'all came for me, but he's kind of like, an added benefit there. But it's kind of a different thing that I'm used to up here at the front. I feel like I'm in a press conference, so I might march on my way through this and just, say one or two words. But we wanted to go ahead and recognize a couple people who were here before we get started. We got a bunch of great people in attendance here today. And so I thought it was best to start off with the father of our football program who we had come out here today. We got Coach Bill Yeoman out here. Member of the College Football Hall of Fame. Creator of the Veer offense. So none of this would be here without him. So we always love when we get to see him out at these kind of events. But in addition to that, I haven't seen if Mac's here yet. I know he's supposed to be coming. We got a bunch of people from the athletics department. Katina Jackson, Hunter Urachek, Brian Crawford, Fernando Lovo, Jeremiah Dickey. Sorry, Jeremiah. But yeah, so we wanted to recognize all of them. And also, we got from the dean of Bauer College, we have Latha Ramshad here. And she's a real busy woman, so she's only got a minute, but we wanted to let her come up here and say a few words to y'all.
Thank you, Kevin. Good afternoon and welcome. It's such a pleasure and a privilege to be here, to see all our Bauer alums, to see you all Cougars, to see the folks from athletics. It's truly a pleasure and privilege to welcome our new coach to the Bauer family, and I really hope that this is just the beginning of a long relationship. You see, we all know we live in the great state of Texas where football is not just a sport, it's a way of life. We plan our weddings around the football schedules. We don't just look up to the coaches, we respect them, we revere them, we worship them, literally. So it's very important that we recognize that relationship. In addition, being the person who serves a large business school, I cannot emphasize enough the linkages that I see between what it means to have a football player as a student, in the sense that the skills that we aspire to teach are very similar. And in many ways, the football coaches do such a great job with that, right? For instance, at the business school, our students learn to talk about servant leadership. On the field, you talk about the team spirit and the importance of working together as a team. In business, we stress the importance of that first quarter earnings report. On the field, it's your first down line. In business, it's come up with a long-term goal. For you, it's touchdown. And then, of course, the thing that I've been talking to Richard Scammell. Richard Scammell, by the way, is the Associate Dean for Students at Bauer College, who, if you don't know, you should. Please take note of this. He is the faculty athletics representative from Bauer for the university, so completely believes that sports and business are so aligned. So Richard is my coach in terms of me understanding football. And we've decided that, we have these weekly meetings every week, every month. We meet, the leadership team meets, we give it all these fancy names. What do? We say, okay, these are our goals, this is what we need to do for the coming week. And sometimes we spend an hour, 2 hours at these meetings. And then I watch you guys on the field, right? I'm not a football expert by any means. You call it the huddle. You meet in what? Less than half a minute. You know the strategy and you're there to deliver. And it works for the most part. So we have a lot to learn from what you all teach the players on the field. And I really, really hope that we continue to grow this relationship. Coach, I also have to let everyone here know that in addition to all the awards you won, the Broyles Award, the Top 10 Recruiter Award, just amazing number of awards relative to the number of alphabets in his name, he is a Mensa expert. As a parent, I know what that means. As someone who deals with the best, the smartest talent we have at the Bauer College, that is like a huge badge of honor. That means a lot to us. Having a coach who is a Mensa geek means a lot. So Thank you for being that. But I also wanted to tell you all that I've been watching those, following his tweets, watching those YouTube videos, and what I really like, what struck in my mind was, he talks about, he inspires his team. You've got to win. You've got to compete your A off. Fight so that you're going to win. But very importantly, this was the message that I really took away, which was fight not just for yourself, compete and win for the person, for the guy standing next to you. And that's what it means to us at the business school. That's what it means at the University of Houston, is to make sure we grow that, and we grow not just ourselves, but grow opportunity for everyone around us. I also want to let you know that thanks to you, we now have today in this audience some Buckeye fans who are considering maybe switching, maybe not switching, maybe expanding their allegiance to include the Cougars. So this is a very special lunch for several reasons. I want to thank you all once again. Continue to have your lunch, and pleasure and honor to have both Coach Yeoman and Coach Herman here today at the same time. What a great day for the university and for Bauer. Thank you.
Thank you, Latha. One more person we wanted to go ahead and recognize, and he's going to come up here and say a couple words. We have the president of the University of Houston Alumni Association, Mike Bday, here. So join me in welcoming him real quick.
Thank you. Thanks, Kevin. I want to just say a couple of quick words on behalf of the Alumni Association. Welcome you to this beautiful facility. Thank our friends in athletics for their teamwork. We house in the same building. We walk up the same steps every day, and the cooperation we get from the team that Kevin mentioned earlier is invaluable to us. I want to thank, if we could have the board members of the Bauer College Alumni Association, if you're here, to get a round of applause for those who do so much hard work on behalf of the college. If you're a member of the board of the Bauer College Alumni Association, please stand up and be recognized so we can give you all a hand. These folks do a phenomenal job year in and year out to not only carry the flag of the Alumni Association, but Bauer College so well. I want to point out two things that are on your table that are very important coming up. The first one is this little white card right here. The lady I'm sitting next to would hit me in the back of the head if I didn't bring this up. So this is, as you know, we have a significant presence at Frontier Fiesta, and it looks like we have a lot of runners in the room. And if you need to work out, I'm sure Coach would add you to his 5 a.m. workouts to get you running up and down the steps to get ready. Please join us in the Frontier Fiesta 5K for the Brave on March 28th in the morning at 9:30 here on campus. It's usually a beautiful run. And then our friends at Bauer College Alumni Association host their annual tournament on Wednesday, May 20th, up at the Golf Club of Houston. Those of you who don't recognize what Golf Club of Houston is, that's what Redstone used to be. So they changed their name. It's going to be a wonderful day. We encourage each of you to put a team in, sponsor a hole, be a part of what will be a spectacular day up there. So on behalf of our board, I want to recognize some of our board members that are here. Patty Godfrey, Trey Wilkinson, John Clark, and our president of our board, Joe Pogge. Please stand and be recognized for their great work as well. I know we have some other great members of our board here as well, but I don't want to take up too much time. If you've had a participation with the Alumni Association, we appreciate you very much. We just graduated another 7,000 students. So we now have 120,000 alumni in the greater Houston area. 1 out of every 6 college graduates in the city of Houston is a U of H grad. Don't be afraid to flash your Cougar sign, and you'll be amazed at what you get back. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. That's pretty awesome. I never heard that before. Okay, I've been asked to talk a little bit more about that golf tournament, tell you a couple other things. Just so you know, the location is the spot where the Shell Houston Open is going to be, and that's going to be just a week or two before this. So right before that, we'll have professionals playing out there, and then you can come out and try to pretend you're professional and see if you're better than me, which you probably are. So please make it out to that event. That's one of our best events. Another event we have, the Bauer College runs, is we run a monthly networking happy hour called the Cougar Power Hour. That's another great one if you haven't been there. Normally these breakfasts are held in the mornings. That's obviously if it's a breakfast. But this is our one luncheon. So if you're not a morning person and you don't want to wake up and come see us there, then make sure you go out to those Cougar Power Hours a little bit later. Got the alcohol instead of the coffee, so that can help out. One more thing I wanted to do. I don't see him here, so maybe we'll hold off on that one for right now. So I wanted to let y'all know about our next breakfast coming up. We got one more this semester, and it's going to be in April. With all the development we got going on right now in Houston, we wanted to bring out a developer, and so we thought back on who is probably the most influential one we've brought around, or who has built Houston up so much, and so we thought that had to be Heinz. So we have the CEO of Heinz Southwest Region, Mark Cover. That's going to be April 16th, and we will be moving back to a breakfast format for that. So we ask you to wake up and come have some coffee with us for that. But I did want to go ahead and start getting Coach up here. I want y'all to have too long of a lunch, so I got a little, my thunder got stolen with Latha bringing out all of the great accomplishments he's already achieved, but a couple more that she might have missed. For those who don't know any of his background, he's been an offensive coordinator for 10 years now. Prior to this, he actually even was offensive coordinator right down the road at Rice. As we said, he won the Broyles Award this past year, top assistant in the nation. And if y'all didn't watch, he also won the national championship this year for the first ever college national championship. So please join me in welcoming our 13th head coach, Tom Herman.
I appreciate everyone having me here, and he mentioned the national championship, and I'd be remiss if I didn't tell a quick story, and the story is, so we win the national championship on a Monday night, and that Tuesday morning, the flight back to Columbus leaves, and it's got my wife and 3 kids on it back to Columbus, me and Fernando Lovo, our director of football operations. We hop into a Suburban and drive down from Dallas to Houston, start work, I guess, that evening, right, Fernando? And then we're on the road recruiting 2 days later, and was on the road for about 2.5 weeks. And so I hadn't seen my children. My wife actually came out for one of the recruiting weekends, but I hadn't seen my children in over a month since I put them on that plane. And I got a chance to go back to cold Columbus, Ohio, just this past weekend, and get a chance to really be with my kids and spend some time really kind of soaking in a little bit of what's transpired in my life the last couple months. And so we've got the kids in the car, and me and my wife are driving, and we're just, kind of reminiscing about just where the career path has taken us. I turned 40 this year, and she's already 40, so this is not recorded, is it? But so we're driving along, and just kind of having one of those family moments. The kids are in the back and obviously not paying attention to us because they don't care about us at this point in their lives. But so we're sitting up there just kind of reminiscing from when she was my so-called sugar mama when I was a graduate assistant getting my master's degree at the University of Texas, and just kind of all the way up through making $10,000 a year at Sam Houston State, and all the way up, and then my time at Ohio State, and what we were able to accomplish just a couple months ago and win the national championship with third-string quarterback, and then be named the head coach, have the honor and privilege to be named the head coach here at the University of Houston. And I turned to her, and it was one of those moments you men probably know, because we don't get too emotional at times, and so I was kind of getting emotional about where we've come and the sacrifices she'd put in, and almost tearing up, and I looked her in the eyes and I said, Michelle, in your wildest dreams, would you have ever thought that I would have won the national championship and then be named the head coach basically in our home state of Texas at the University of Houston? And she looks at me and she says, Tom, you're not in my wildest dreams. So that brought me back down to earth pretty quickly. But I do want to thank Dr. Ramshan, I hope I'm pronouncing that correct, and then Richard Scammell, thank you for all that you do for athletics as the faculty athletic rep, and the synergy between athletics and the academic side of the university life would not be made possible without people like Richard Scammell kind of bridging the gap, so to speak, between athletics and academia. So again, I appreciate everything that you do. I heard you guys kind of want to talk about what we're doing right now. Well, what we're doing right now is a bit of a culture change. It's not so much X's and O's. In fact, the NCAA doesn't allow us really to talk much X's and O's at this point. But what we're doing is we're instilling a culture of toughness and accountability in our group. And that is something that I think we're always going to be talented. As Coach Yeoman, I think, said, you could swing a dead cat in the city of Houston by the tail and probably hit 10 Division I prospects. So we're always going to have some talented athletes from the greater Houston area and then obviously the great state of Texas. But what we need to take that next step is that culture of toughness and accountability. And I'm not just talking about toughness of playing hurt and hitting hard. I'm talking about being mentally and spiritually tough so that when things get difficult, we know how to respond. And our guys are doing a fantastic job with that. And then accountability. I think it's why I love coaching college football so much, and probably why many of you enjoyed your time at this point in your life in college, is that young people, young men, grow tremendously between the ages of 18 and 22, 23 when we've got them. And we have an opportunity. I consider myself a teacher. And for those of you that are professors in the room or teachers by trade, you can understand that my biggest thrill is certainly not winning the national championship, although that is a big one. It's not going to be running out of the tunnel the first time as a head coach at the University of Houston. It's not going to be beating our rivals, SMU, on Thursday night television on ESPN. It's not going to be any of those things. It's when a young man can come back to me and sit in my office after he's graduated, earned his degree, got a great job, hopefully through the network system that he's built here at the University of Houston and in the city. And he comes back and sits down in my office, looks me in the eye and says, "Coach, thank you so much for everything you did to me, or for me." Little Freudian slip there, huh? Thank you so much for everything you've done for me and to me. But thank you so much for everything that you've done for me. And when they can look me in the eye and say I'm a better husband, a better father, a better community member, a better teammate, a better brother, a better son, when those things come back to me and I get to see them later on in life and they've got these great lives and these great families and they're successful in the game of life, that's what's most important to me as a teacher. And so instilling that toughness and accountability throughout our team really doesn't, it goes beyond the field. It doesn't just end between the white lines. It goes far beyond the white lines. It goes into really teaching them skills to be successful in life. The business school, Bauer College of Business. I am, as Dr. Ramchan said, I am a geek at heart. Not a math geek like my wife. I'll tell you her background here in a second. But I did get my BS in business. And at times I do call that a BS because I did BS my way through that quite a bit. But I got my BS in business and my master's in sport management. My wife, she's kind of the numbers person in our family. She got her undergraduate degree in accounting and got her MBA in finance. So I joke all the time that no matter how much money I make, we actually still to this day, there's 2 checking accounts in our household. One of them is for everything else to pay the bills and pay the mortgage and all that. And the other one, she puts a couple $100 in a month for me to buy lunch and maybe some gas. And I honestly, if she stepped off the curb today and got hit by a bus, the lights would go off in our house. My kids would go hungry. I wouldn't know how to pay for anything. So she is definitely the foundation in our home. And her background in business really has allowed her to do that. And my background in business, really my background in the BSing part, I guess, is what allows me to stand up here and hopefully make you laugh a little bit too. The one thing I did want to touch upon, since we've got so many business leaders here in the room today, is something that we do that is pretty unique here at the University of Houston. And when I say pretty unique, probably only one other university in the country does it, and that would be where I came from at Ohio State, and that's called Real Life Wednesdays. And what we do is the NCAA, not to bore you with NCAA rules, but what we do is the NCAA gives us only 8 hours a week in the off season to be around our guys. That's for lifting, running, on the field, mat drills, meetings, anything that we mandate for our players, we are only allowed 8 hours of that per week in the off season. And we take an hour out of every week to bring in a speaker every Wednesday, an hour out of that 8 hours, to talk to them about what it's like in the real world, what it's like to be successful in real life. And the first phase of it is kind of just how to survive in the real world. So we'll have a section, an hour on how to manage your money, how to budget when you get out of college and you're not on scholarship anymore and the cheering has stopped, how to budget your money, what a credit card means, what a credit score means, all that good stuff. Then we bring in people, talk about their brand. We talk about LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook and all the methods of networking throughout this great university and this great city. And then after that phase of kind of how to survive in the real world is over, we bring in leaders in the community such as yourself. And I would invite you, if it's something that you're interested in, Fernando Lovo, our Director of Football Operations. Fernando, raise your hand. Okay, he's the tall Nicaraguan dude with the slicked hair in the front row here. But he's going to be in touch with you and would not prefer, but we would also love it if you guys were in touch with us. We would love to bring people in from the entrepreneurial sector, from the oil and gas sector, from the marketing sector, and bring you in and really give our guys a taste for what is a day in the life of someone who works in oil and gas, someone who is an entrepreneur and started their own business. And we think that that is extremely important. And then we culminate the Real Life Wednesdays experience with a job fair that is for our football players only. We put them in a coat and tie. We make sure that they have a resume, a working resume, or they do not play in the fall for us. They have to have a working resume that they update continually. And we have a job fair where we'll bring in 50, 60, hopefully 100 in a few years, 200, and see how far it can grow for our football players, and have an opportunity in a coat and tie to walk up, hand somebody a resume, introduce themselves, grab a business card, shake a hand, and then the last thing we do after that job fair is over, we have one more final seminar, if you will, and we work on our follow-up emails and contacts and building that network. And my goal is, and it's a little bit different today than it was when I graduated college, where if you got that piece of paper, you got a decent job. It said Tom Herman, BS in business. I could go out pretty much anywhere I wanted to and probably get a halfway decent job. I don't think in today's market it's like that anymore. I think it's a much more competitive market, and our student athletes are at a bit of a disadvantage when it comes to networking because they aren't afforded the free time outside of the classroom to dive into an internship or a part-time job or a volunteer opportunity because they are very busy training in the off-season as well as practicing during the season. So my goal is that when they graduate, or excuse me, when they're done playing football, because some of these guys will go on and maybe play football for a couple years professionally. Maybe some of them have great careers professionally. But when they're done playing this great game of football, that they can come back to the city of Houston and have 4 job offers waiting for them when they're done playing football. And that is important to me, and that's where the academic side and Richard, where you guys come into play so much that, it's my job to build, in what I think as a teacher, to build a better human. And that may sound cold, that may sound callous, but we live in a society today that is yearning for better people, for more competitive people, for people that are trained, for people that understand the value of hard work, the value of teamwork, the value of self-sacrifice. And it is my job to provide them with every tool necessary that they can achieve that goal and have those job offers waiting. So I encourage you to get in touch with Fernando if that's something you're interested. Fernando will be in touch with a lot of you as well. It's going great right now. Again, spring practice starts March 9th. Again, at this point in our season, or off season, there really is no matter. There's no attention paid to X's and O. Right now, it's about culture because many a championship has been won with different kinds of offenses and defenses and special teams. It really, at the end of the day, does not matter what offense, defense, or special teams you run. It really doesn't. What matters is the culture within your team and the culture that you create throughout the family unit that is in that locker room every day. So I believe I'm supposed to open it up for a couple questions here before I step down. But again, I want to thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for when you see one of our football players understanding that when he comes to the practice field, when he comes to the field house, that it's not just X's and O's and lifting weights. It's about becoming a better, like I said, a better husband, a better father, and a better citizen. And you can rest assured that those lessons are being taught once they leave the classroom as well. Questions? Yes, Mike.
So your schedule came out today. How do you like the way your schedule's set up?
Love it. Yeah, the schedule is fantastic. We've got, I think we've got 3 straight home games, I believe, Mac. If my memory serves me, I haven't had a chance to dive into it too much. Yeah, absolutely love it. I think we play on national TV 2 or 3 times, on ESPN, I should say. Some of our other games are obviously broadcast nationally, but ESPN has decided to pick up, I believe, at least 3 of them. So we're excited about it. I'm more excited to get in this stadium and get this stadium rocking and get the students back in that student section packed and get the stadium and the city of Houston excited about this season. Yes, sir.
Coach, I know that you're probably excited about all. Can you give us some highlights, though, of some of the new recruits and the new especially you decided to get on campus?
Yeah, the question was about the new signees. Signing class was about a week and a half ago. And really excited, or I guess 2 weeks ago now, huh, Fernando? Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Time flies when you're having fun. Excited about a couple of areas of need that we addressed. For whatever reason, when we looked at the roster, this year we will have 7 offensive linemen that are seniors. So after this season, there will be 7 offensive linemen walk out the door here for our program. So it was a big need for us to sign some quality offensive linemen. We feel like we did that in the 3 guys that we signed, especially with the local product and Josh Jones, a young man that was committed elsewhere that right around the last week had decided that playing for and getting his degree at the University of Houston was the best decision for him. So we're excited about that. We're excited about the linebacker depth. We're going to play a 3-4 scheme on defense. So having the depth there at linebacker was important to us. And then we haven't had a tight end on the roster here at UH probably since Coach Yeoman was coaching. So we had no tight ends on the roster. So that was important. And it was an important kind of management of numbers because the NCAA only gives you 85 scholarships. And so in order to scholarship 3 or 4 tight ends, which is what you'd like on your roster, you had to take that number away from somewhere else. So we're excited about bringing the tight end position back to the University of Houston. We're excited about the offensive lineman that we signed, and then obviously the linebacker depth that we'll be bringing on campus. Yes, sir. Yeah, the key coaches, let me tell you, I'm excited about the coaching staff, not only because they're great men, they're great teachers, but they have over 100 years of experience recruiting the state of Texas. And as you know, in this state, we don't need to leave our borders, really, to recruit. And maybe we'll dive into a little bit of western Louisiana, a little bit into Oklahoma, but we're going to make our living here in the greater Houston area, and then obviously the state of Texas. And these guys all, except for one, are either from Texas or have extremely strong Texas ties, and the other one being Todd Orlando wishes he was from Texas. So, but Todd Orlando comes to us with a great background in coaching defense. His defenses at Utah State were in the top 15 in the country the last 2 years in multiple defensive categories. He had numerous offers this year after the run of success they had there at Utah State, and we kind of had to put a late recruiting pitch on him and really sold him, and Mac has done a great job allowing me the resources to go hire some of these coaches that we believe are some of the finest in the country. And then our associate head coach and co-defensive coordinator, Craig Nivers from Taylor, Texas. Our cornerbacks coach and special teams coordinator, Jason Washington, is from San Antonio, Texas. Our defensive line coach, assistant head coach, Oscar Giles, is from Palacios, Texas. Our receivers coach and recruiting coordinator, Drew Maringer, is from Mansfield, Texas. Corby Meekins, our tight ends coach, is from Shepherd, Texas, formerly the head coach at Westfield High School, a very successful program here in the city of Houston. And then Derek Wareheim, our new offensive line coach, is actually born and raised in the Oklahoma City area. His dad is a legendary high school coach in the Oklahoma City area, but he was a graduate assistant for me while at Rice, too. So he's got strong ties in the city of Houston. And then our offensive coordinator, Major Applewhite, he is from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but I would probably, if you held a gun to his head, he would tell you that his home state is the state of Texas because of his strong roots here from his playing days on out. So it's a fantastic staff made possible by the resources given to me by Mac, and they're excellent coaches, they're excellent teachers, but most importantly, they're excellent men that really have aligned with my vision of building a better person, and we're excited to see these guys work. Yes. Next question. I don't. Our schedule. Mac, myself and Mac have met a couple different times on future schedules, and it's interesting in today's college football landscape. He is. We were talking about games in what 2022 and 2023, and I'm just trying to put one foot in front of the other and realize what day it is and figure out my calendar for tomorrow. So I'm sure that is certainly a possibility, but I think we're pretty booked for the immediate future. We good? Oh, we got one more. I'm sorry. Just yell at me. That's a great question. The question, if you couldn't hear, was about the culture change and about the level of buy-in from our current players. And I was a little bit nervous, I've got to be honest with you, about what I was walking into in terms of the quality of young man that we were going to be inheriting. And pardon my voice is kind of yelling that culture at him a few times in the morning. Does this to you. But the buy-in has been off the charts optimistic. I couldn't have asked for a better scenario in terms of there's no pushback, there's no anti-establishment guys, there's no really any negativity as far as what we're trying to accomplish is concerned. And I think that's a testament to the culture of the entire athletic department. I think it's a testament to the culture here of the University of Houston, but also it's a testament to these kids that, young men, I should say, that they yearn for discipline. They yearn to be pushed, and that's what makes, I say all the time, as coaches, when you're just talking about skill development, as coaches, if we're worth our salt, we can turn average into good, good into great, great into elite. So recruiting, I don't want to recruit average ones because I can only get them so far. So if we do our job recruiting, they do their job of buying into what we're selling them. And right now, we've got them. They're bought in, hook, line, and sinker, and they're excited every day. We haven't had but maybe one miss of all these. We're working out. Again, the first week we were off the road, we were up at 5 in the morning, Monday through Wednesday, and then now that we're in our normal pattern of off season, we're Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We're here at 6 a.m. We start at 6 a.m. and everybody's here at 5:45, bumping around. They're excited to work, and that's fun to come to work every day when you're around a group of guys that enjoy being pushed. They want to be excellent. They want to be great. They want to be elite, and they want to be champions. And they're just dying to know the way, and that's exciting. Yes, sir. The color of carpet in my office was probably a bit surprising. No. To be honest with you, how beautiful this stadium is, and what a wonderful job from where we've come from, and not that Robertson Stadium, not that we're talking bad about Robertson Stadium because of the great memories that were had there at Robertson Stadium, but to see this at the University of Houston and know the level of commitment to winning championships from Dr. Couture and Mack Rhodes was definitely pleasantly surprising because it's, again, I talk to recruits all the time. It's not theory anymore. It's not we're going to do this. This is what we've got planned. It's testimony. We've done this. Look at this stadium. Look at the facilities. Look at the salaries. Look at the support that you have. And so as a new head coach, I think all of those things are very, very important, and again, we're a bit pleasantly surprising. Yes, sir. What's the temperature today at your old camp? -4 degrees Fahrenheit. It's awful. But I will tell you this, and this is no knock on the citizens of Ames, Iowa, because everybody lives somewhere for a reason, but Columbus, Ohio feels like the Bahamas compared to Ames, Iowa. I can tell you that. For those of you that any of you have spent time in Iowa in the month of January or February, I apologize, but it is, so again, it is very, very cold, and it is not like this, paradise. Now, come ask me again what the temperature is there in August when it's about 112 heat index here in Houston, and it might be a different story. Yes, sir.
Different coaches have signature leadership quotes. Do you have any yourself? And if not, what's one of your favorite ones from a different coach?
Oh, leadership quotes. One of my favorite ones is from Thomas Edison that says, most people miss their opportunities in life because they are disguised as work and dressed in overalls. I think he said dressed in overalls and disguised as work. And that one to me speaks volumes that we're no matter what our lot in life is, we're always sitting on an opportunity, or we're always right next to an opportunity, but a lot of times that opportunity is disguised as work and dressed in overalls, and we miss out on it because we think that that opportunity or that challenge may be too difficult for us. And so for us, how does that relay to the football team is that, you know, every day is an opportunity to get better, and every day is an opportunity to challenge your own best self, but every day that challenge and that opportunity is going to be really, really hard work. And until we embrace how truly hard and the commitment level and effort level needed to win championships, we're never going to get there. But once we do realize that commitment level and that effort level needed, I think the sky is the limit. Yes, sir.
First of all, welcome to Houston. When you were at Ohio State, the last 3 games, the Big Ten championship game, and the first 3 games across, you guys were underdogs.
Yes.
Houston's kind of an underdog place to live to have. What did you guys do to have you guys believe?
Well, I think, you know, I don't know that it had anything to do with that week or those weeks. I think it was 3 years in the making, to be honest with you, since we arrived there, and we established the vision, and we established the culture, and we hit a speed bump. We had won 24 straight games before the Big Ten championship 2 seasons previous, and we hit a roadblock, and it was time to reevaluate kind of where some guys stood in terms of their commitment level to kind of the process and the roadmap that we had given them. And then we stumbled a little bit, a lot of it, against Virginia Tech early in the season as well. And so, but the previous 2 years had been a buildup of belief and a buildup of buy-in to the vision and the culture and the roadmap that we had given them, that as long as they stayed the course, that anything and everything was possible. And so I don't know that the underdog role was really that challenging for us, because whether the pundits said we were underdogs or the experts said that we weren't supposed to win, much like here, as long as the buy-in is 100%, and the belief level in our plan to win and our vision and culture is there. Underdog, overdog, it doesn't really matter to us. We're going to go out and compete. Good? Thank you very much. Go Cougs.